And when they come back to me and they're like, man, these guys, they just want me to tap my credit card before I even decide what I want to buy.
Sending him absolutely everything and trying to keep him happy. For me, I don't do that.
With the number of messages, hey, I'm a specialist in MJL, brochures start coming in. They all be like, Z, just put your number, man. Don't put our number. We don't want to deal with it.
And he went, I really hate you right now. I've now got to go back to my wife and tell her we're moving to Dubai, and she's wanted to the whole time.
So, third session. Sophie, welcome. The second I posted that video asking who I should invite, when I saw the comment, and that really attracted me, that you're a single mom, you've been in the market for not too long, and you're already smashing it. Mm-hmm. Of course, we got in touch right away, and I decided to get you on board. So thank you for coming in. Thank you for taking out the time.
Thank you for having me.
I appreciate your presence over here. We did have a little chit-chat outside regarding what you do and all of that, but of course the audience doesn't know about it yet. Could you give us a brief of when you came to town, what you started doing, how long it took you, and so on and so forth? Just go all out.
From the very beginning. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I came to Dubai in 2017, and I found out I was coming 2 days before. So, like, I applied for a job as a teacher, and then I got told you're coming out in 2 days. So I came, and I was teaching sport for 3 years. And then I was approached by one of the directors for Eminence, and he said, look, like, I want to get you into real estate. So I said, okay, fine, like, let's try it. I had no idea how to sell. I had no idea about the market. Properties, like, it was completely alien to me. And at the time, the company was still so small. So he was like, come join in 2020. So I joined, and then COVID happened.
2020.
Yeah.
God damn. Okay.
COVID hit.
Mm-hmm. I know. COVID hit.
So I was getting leads. Like, all of the leads that come through are generated by the company. So they were genuine leads. But then when I was contacting them, they were saying, like, I want to buy, but we're in the middle of a pandemic. Mm-hmm. So I did a full year without a sale at all.
A whole year?
Yeah.
How did you manage?
I had help. I still had an income coming in, fortunately. And if it wasn't for that, I probably wouldn't be sat here now. Because it wouldn't have given me the opportunity. And the funny thing was, my first ever client, so I'm from Newcastle in the UK, and my first client was from Newcastle in the UK. And he said, this was about September, October time, we picked a unit out in Beachfront, and the deal fell through. So I was obviously gutted. And then Christmas time came, and I travelled back to the UK. And then he called me, and he was like, I'm in Dubai, can we meet? And I was like, I'm in the UK.
Oh, shit.
So we literally did that.
Wow.
So I basically directed the full deal with no idea at all, with the help of Ahmed, who's one of the directors in the company, and we closed the deal over the phone, as we had obviously crossed paths.
Amazing.
And that was literally when it all just started. It was like that came through, and then it just continuously happened afterwards for the rest of them.
Okay, that's interesting. What did you sell in Beachfront?
It was Elisab.
Okay.
3-bedroom.
Nice. Is that the one that you mentioned earlier, was facing Marina as well as a little bit of the Palm?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
What is the price of that unit?
At the time, it was 4.7, and then he actually contacted me last year, and he was like, I want to list the unit. And we listed it for around 7.5, and then the prices just kept increasing, and he said, listen, take it off the market, like, I'll be stupid to sell it now. So it's still his.
Okay, that's nice. And I think right now he's doing probably double of what he paid for.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
We have people contacting us all the time for the unit, and I'll call them and I'm like, listen, just take the money and put it into something bigger and better. And he's like, no, like, I'm sitting on a gold mine here.
Nice. Tell me a little bit more about what other deals did you work on right after the Beachfront clicked?
Right after the Beachfront was Creek.
Okay.
Like, I can't even remember how many went through, but it was like continuous, because at the time Creek wasn't known,
Mm-hmm.
and then Emaar Beachfront sold out, and then I feel as though Creek was like the new hype in Dubai. So, and it was an easy sell.
Mm-hmm.
It still is an easy sell, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So that was the next ones, and I believe the majority of my deals after that were all Creek until like the summertime.
I think Creek Harbor is quite underrated.
Yeah,
I think it's got great potential for the future.
Yeah.
And of course, being in close proximity to the city, you have a nice water body in front of you, which is of course your creek. You have the wildlife sanctuary. You sit on the highway. Airport is just behind. I think that area has great potential.
I do, and I think once it's done, I believe that all of the focus in Dubai will be on Creek. It might take 5 to 10 years, but it's going to be the new downtown, the new marina, and I believe that's where all of the tourists will go, because right now if you stay in a marina you're travelling 30 minutes to downtown, vice versa.
True.
So
True.
and that's when you explain that to investors, that's when they understand. And I'm always honest, I always say, look, it is a slow burner. Like, if you're wanting to invest right now there, you need to wait
True.
until it's done.
True. You have to wait.
Yeah.
Every good thing takes time. Same way with Beachfront, when we were selling it back in the day, 2018, 2019, no one would buy into the idea. Okay, very few people bought into it. They understood the concept, and they waited. It's a journey. I mean, I think Creek Harbor will probably get done by 2028.
Yeah.
Completely, I feel. And that's when people will really start seeing the results and what people are making out of it.
Yeah. I mean, when it first started, like, I was getting really, like, weird questions. Like, well, what if it sinks? What if the island sinks? I'm like,
Man.
look at the palm.
Oh, man. When I started selling the palm back in the day, I had these people come and tell me, oh, they didn't let the land settle, and there's so much research you need to do. And I'm like, what position do you, I mean, what do you know about whatever it is they're doing? If they're pumping in so many millions, I'm sure they done their homework. They didn't just wake up one day and they'll be like, hey, you know what? Palm trees are common in Dubai. Let's put it on the sea, you know?
Yeah.
Come on, man.
But you get people who have never been to Dubai before are telling me, like, the situation, you know, and I'm like, listen, when they wanted to develop marina, like, the contractor said it's never going to happen. It's happened. When they had the Burj Khalifa, it's never going to happen. It happened. The new one is Creek. It's never going to happen. It will happen.
It's already taking shape.
Yeah.
I think it's doing pretty well right now for itself. Sometimes things do take time, but it does well eventually. Dubai's got that vision. They've got picked out some nice niche areas, and they are focusing heavily on making it happen.
Yeah.
Right. I also know that you are a single mother doing this as a business, as real estate, as your main source, as well as you taking care of you mentioned a 20-month-old.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit how you do? I mean, when I saw that in the comments that you're a single mom, I was like, God damn, I need to get this woman over here. So just tell us how you manage it, because I'm sure it'll also make the other women in the industry or not in the industry to understand and get some value out of it.
The thing is with me, like, what I've learned on this journey, because it's been a year-long journey of being not being with my daughter's father. When I have people doing everything for me, like I had a nanny, and you know, I had it pretty easy at home, I found as though I became quite complacent, and I decided that was no longer what I wanted anymore. Like, if I'm going to do it on my own, I genuinely want to do it on my own. So it's just me and my daughter in the house. I'm part of the 5 a.m. club. And I usually run on 5 hours sleep also.
Is it because you actually go to the gym, or your daughter wakes up?
Well, I get up, I get myself ready, and I do everything in the house that needs to be done. I'll clean the house, I'll prepare her pack lunch, and then I get her up, I get her ready, and then she goes to nursery. Then I go to the gym, then I go to work, and then I come back, collect her from nursery, and when we get home, that's mine and her time. And as soon as she goes to bed, the work then continues.
Amazing. Must be a handful of things, yeah.
Yeah.
But hats off to you for doing that. I wanted to ask you if you can give me some light on how do you think potential buyers should differentiate between experienced agents like yourself as well as the other agents? Like, how do you differentiate yourself?
With me, I think it's about creating a relationship and building rapport. Like, if you are just going to go in and not understand the client and not understand their needs, which personally I've seen a lot of people doing that in the market. Like, they just want to deal through, the aftercare isn't there, they'll sell them anything because they want the commission. Like, for me, I genuinely want to understand my clients. I genuinely want to build a relationship with them, and hands down, every single client that I have sold to, I'm still in contact with today.
And that is something you rightfully said is lacking in the market.
Yeah.
People don't want to give time. They just want to close that transaction and get out. Many a times clients have been in touch with me as well, and let's say if I'm not available, they've managed to make it to the developer's office, understand the product, and when they come back to me to talk, and they're like, man, these guys, they just want me to tap my credit card before I even decide what I want to buy.
So pushy.
They are extremely pushy. I guess that's good for us in a way, right?
Yeah.
It brings us more clients.
Yeah, and I think as long as you let them understand, like, that there is demand there, but also if they, like, I'll always say, if they need time to wait, it's fine. Take your time.
Exactly.
No worries.
Exactly.
Do what you need to do, because at the end of the day, I want to be able to build that relationship with them and keep them as clients after as well, and give them the aftercare they need. Okay, we've done the deal. Let me rent it out for you. Let me furnish it for you. Let me sell it for you.
No, for sure. I think
important.
that goes a long way. Like, I conduct my own snagging, for instance. Even though I know maybe a professional would do a better job, but since the apartment is under warranty and these are minor items that you observe, you point out, you get them rectified, you don't really need to spend money to hire a snagging company, especially for a brand new apartment.
Yeah.
Because all your MEP is undercover.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what you're doing, I think, is phenomenal. It is important. It lacks very much in the market, but it is very, very important. This way you maintain your clients, you take care of their needs, and tomorrow when they want to purchase again, they know who to call.
Yeah, they know where to go.
They know you are the person to go to.
There's, like, as well, you've probably had the same. When you build up a reputation and then also a relationship with clients, and then you have other agents still trying to get in there, and they're like, can I sell this for you? Can I offer you this, that, and the other? My clients will always come back to me and say, look, I've been approached by this person with this project. And if it's not good, I'll say don't take. And if it is good, we will still continue to do the deal together.
Exactly. They always come back to you no matter what. And I've seen that happen, and I strongly believe in that, because every time I've had the same situation, clients will come back to me, what do you think about it? I'll be like, no, not worth looking at. You know, new project in Business Bay in the middle of the sand somewhere with no USPs around it.
Yeah.
Okay, it may be a nice plot, let's say easy access to Al-Khail or whatever, but it's got nothing good going on for itself, you know, just by, now the new concept is branding everything.
Yeah.
Just by branding a development doesn't make it attractive. You know, there has to be a reason why people want to come and stay there. And this is what happened recently with one of my clients, and he shared a brochure of a development coming up recently in Business Bay with nothing around too much, you know, just one building on one side and on the road. And he asked me, he's like, hey, I'm good to go with 2-3 million. Would you recommend? I said, no, man, there's better options available. You'd rather look at something else.
And they'll appreciate that as well. Like, don't be afraid to say no.
Exactly.
I always say that when we have new people starting the company, or I even had this conversation the other day with one of my friends who's gone into sales but not in real estate, and he was telling me about the conversation that he was having with a client, and he was like just sending him absolutely everything and trying to keep him happy. For me, I don't do that. I'm like, I'm going to send you only what you need. I'm not going to tell you all of the information, because you might turn around and say, no, let's just meet. Let's
Exactly.
just meet each other. Let's have a coffee, sit down. We'll discuss it properly in person. And if you come to me and say, I want this, and I don't believe it's a good project, I will say no. And then to back my point up, I'll take them to the project or the sales office and I'll say, there you go.
This is why not.
Yeah.
Exactly. That is so important. But you're right, all the brokers or all the people in any industry, they just keep sending a whole bunch of information, like 50 brochures and 70 brochures, hoping that the buyer might bite into something or the other. And this is what they don't understand. Like, clients from me, they know what they expect. I'll send them the floor plan, screenshot, payment plan, screenshot, and maybe a few pictures of the amenities and the interiors. I don't even send the entire brochure out. Because I'm like, you know what? He's not going to go through 60 pages. That brochure is useless. No one's got time for that. And then I see these guys continuously sending out information. Because a lot of the sale purchase agreements in the developers' offices have my number for my clients. The reason for that is because they already are aware of the situation that people go through with the number of messages coming in every single day. Hey, I'm a specialist in MJL, your 3-bedroom apartment. I want to list it. I want to sell it. I want to rent it out every day. And then brochures start coming in. So they all be like, Z, just put your number, man. Don't put our number. We don't want to deal with it. Because if the developer wants to get in touch, he's going to send me an email anyways. And, database business is big business over here.
Yeah, exactly.
So I guess that works in favor for us.
Yeah.
But this is something that I do on the sale purchase agreement. I'm able to inform and then convince them to do that. Because I know how many messages come. I have a dedicated phone at home.
Right, okay.
Just for those messages, which I never look at. Let's say you've got some international buyers you're speaking with and wealthy people, in different countries. And they always, a lot of them come back and say, oh, Dubai is very unstable, looking at the past, how it's done. Market crashes last longer than the market ups. It's a bubble. The recession's going to come any second. Banks in the US are crashing. It's going to have a domino effect over here, so on and so forth. If you were talking to that person or if you were having a conversation, what would be your revert back?
I get this question all the time. And so all of my clients, majority of them are European. And Europe is very different to here, obviously, right? Even the market, everything. And they have this such a closed mindset because of where they are. And when I speak to them, the clients who have been to Dubai, they kind of understand it, but the clients who haven't, and they just have all this money and they want to just invest it here because they know what it's like, they'll still say, what if this happens? What if that happens? What if there's a recession? And my answer always is, first of all, everyone is coming to Dubai now. Everyone. Like, Dubai is being pushed by China, America, Russia, Europe. Like, what on earth has given you this thought that it's going to crash, it's going to go wrong? And then they're also mentioning the recession. Dubai went through a crash 2008, and it was they managed to pull themselves out of it. We know that, but because it's being driven so much by tourism now, I don't ever seeing that happen. The country is just going to continue to grow. The population is going to continue to grow. People need places to live.
And to add to all of that, Dubai is probably the most safest city in the world.
Yeah.
Dubai is business friendly. You want to open up shop, you can do that the very next day.
The licenses are so easy to get.
Exactly.
And obviously you've got the visas over here now, but just like going back to being the safest place. When families are coming over, I'll tell you a story.
Please.
So I had a client come to me February time, British, and he's the nicest guy, okay? And he came to me and he was so full of life and bubbly, and he was so upfront and honest. And he got in my car and he went, Sophie, I'm going to tell you something. I said, okay. Bear in mind, it's the first time I'd met him, but he was talking to me like he had known me for years. And he went, I have come here to find every reason to not move to Dubai and to not purchase a property. So in my head I thought, right, okay, I'm going to make you like this is a game. I said, okay. So he was like, my wife, I've got a daughter, she's in high school. My wife's got a business, I've got a business. We're happy in the UK, but this, that, and the other. And I said, right, okay. I said, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you around Dubai. Forget property for right now. I'm going to take you around Dubai. And I took them to all of the iconic areas. We went to downtown. I took them to the Madinat. We sat and had lunch in the Madinat, overlooking the Burj Al Arab. I took him along JBR, like everywhere that a tourist would want to go to. And he was like, oh my gosh. And then we slowly got talking about the schools, the healthcare, the safety, the visas, the no tax. And slowly he was like understanding it. And I spent the full week with him. And then eventually we went around all of the different developers, and I was advising him because he wants to take something off plan, but then he wants somewhere to live and bring his family over here. And the very last day before he left, he said to me, right, I want to move here. You've convinced me. And he went, I really hate you right now. Like, he was laughing about it because he went, I've now got to go back to my wife and tell her we're moving to Dubai, and she's wanted to the whole time and I've not.
Oh.
So I said, okay. So he said, what are we going to do about this sales purchase? Because one of the units I sold him, it was like very limited availability. And he said, I know my wife's going to want to come out here and see it.
For sure.
Listen, I went, forget that. I went, get your wife on a Zoom with me when you get home. We're going to sit and we'll have a Zoom call together. I said, right, okay. He went, you're not going to convince her. She'll want to come out first. I said, right, okay, it's fine. Just let me do it. So we had the Zoom call 2 days later, and she sat there and she was like, thank you so much for convincing him that now we're moving to Dubai. And she went, but honestly, Sophie, I need to come out. And I said, listen, let me just explain the entire project and all of the pricing, everything like that, and then I'll let you think about it. But if you do want to go ahead with it, don't wait, because they were going to come out in like June time. I said, you can't wait that long.
Mm-hmm.
We had the Zoom call and we closed on the Zoom call. It was done. He then came out a couple of weeks later. He's took something for himself and his family. And then he said, he was like, I just really love like your energy. And he came to the office and everything. And he was like, I just love that environment. And I said, okay, I'll get you a job. And he was like, what? He works in sales. I said, do you want a job? He said, yeah. So I let him meet with HR. And then I had to leave because I had another meeting. And he called me. He was like, you've sold Dubai to me. You've sold me 2 properties, and now you've sold the job to me. So he's now my colleague.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I never thought that the story would end up there.
Yeah. So when people are like, I just don't think it's a good time to invest, or I don't know if Dubai is a good place. Like, if you as a broker, forget the calls. If they're in the country, just meet them, take them out, build that rapport with them.
Rapport is important. For sure. Thank you very much for coming in.
Thank
I
you so
really
much,
appreciate your time. I'm sure this has given a lot of value to people to see through your journey and where you've made it today. Congratulations. Sophie, can you please tell us about your socials, or if people want to reach out to you, whereabouts can they go?
Yeah, so they can find me at Sophie Kelly Elliott on Instagram, and we're currently making a TikTok. So once that's up and running, that will be linked to my Instagram as well.
Sophie Kelly Elliott.
Yes.
Awesome.
Double T. Everyone forgets the
Double T. Awesome. Thank you very much for coming
Thank
in.
you
Really
so
appreciate your time.
Thank
Good
you
to
for
see
having
you,
me.
and I'm glad you made it here. Thank you.